Hello and welcome to another Overpaid Over the Bar video with me, Anthony, looking back at game week 16 and forward to game week 17. We're nearly halfway through the season, which is the end of game week 18, when all our chips will be renewed and we'll have a good idea about who to buy, who to sell, and what teams are looking good in the Premier League, because halfway through the season is a much better clue than earlier when it's just a bit of guesswork. Right from now on, it should become pretty clear, not just in terms of clubs, but in terms of players, who to bank on for the rest of the season. Let's first of all look back on game week 16. Uh, I got 70 points. My new signings, O'Reilly and Foden, did well for Manchester City. I captained Saka, who didn't return as much as Haaland, but there was literally 2 points in it. So you lost 2 points by going Saka captain instead of Haaland captain. The two extra points that you would have gained, yeah, it really works out that way. 22 instead of 26, but then you get 13 for Haaland. So it sounds like it's more, but it's actually only 2 points that you lost by captaining Saka instead of Haaland. So it was a bit lucky, to be fair. Saka probably could not have been awarded the at least one of the assists that he got. So in the end, the display by Arsenal was insipid over 90 minutes against the worst team in the Premier League, which wasn't to be expected. But I'm not sure how indicative it is that Arsenal are struggling to find fluidity. I think we need a few more games to really go that far. Certainly, Manchester City fans will be a bit more optimistic than they were a few weeks ago about their chances of winning the league. And people like me, who wrote off everyone except Arsenal very early in the season, are beginning to doubt themselves a little bit. Although I still believe Arsenal will win the league. I just think their squad depth and their ability to control games is better than Manchester City or any other contender. Um, but we will see. Uh, yeah, so in the overpaid league, it's quite interesting actually because of the five free transfers that everybody had. It was quite interesting, and some people still have chips left over. So a couple of the big performers here were Rob Speak on 93 points and Piers Shingleton on 91 points, who both played a chip. Robbie played the bench boost and he had Wilson in his squad, who was the star of the week, really. If you sign Harry Wilson, you got a big reward on that. Um, so although some of his players didn't do so well, Dango, Gay, and Barnes, Wilson's coming in there to boost his squad up to 93, which meant an overall rank rise of 1 million. Yeah, in game week 16, you can still get a rank rise of 1 million in game week 16. So that is why this game is never over until it's over. Okay. The other chip that was played, Piers has got a couple of chips left. I think he's got the bench boost as well left before the halfway mark. So he's kind of trying to throw them in before the halfway mark. But this was an excellent decision to play the free hit where he got in Harry Wilson. Had Bruno Fernandes, who's obviously did was another big star. Look at this midfield; it's absolutely immense. Really, a score of 91, fantastic score here, which boosted his rank also by 1 million, 1.2 million. Um, so, if you can do that in one game week, there's another 20 game weeks to go, right? Um, 30, 38 game weeks, right? So are there another? Ah, no, it's 19 is the halfway mark, not 18. Yeah, 19 is the halfway. Yes, there's three plus. Oh, I'm confused now. There's quite a lot of game weeks to go. Excuse me. So What are we looking at? Matthew White reduced my lead at the top to 29 points, which is nothing really. Um, Also, Tomo in Japan. I was talking about trying to get hold of him last week. I still can't get hold of him, unfortunately. I would love to hear from him. He's up to fifth. He's an Arsenal fan, so he tends to rely on Arsenal players. But this season, that's not problematic at all. Um, Look at his bench: James Williams and Calvert-Lewin. It's about 25 points on the bench there, or at least 20. Right, let's look at the fixtures first of all for game week 17. So on Saturday, the deadline's at 11 a.m. Um, First game is Newcastle home to Chelsea, and that, I mean, both those teams are good. Both those teams have had some good results recently. They've also had some bad results recently. Neither set of fans will be very happy with their current form in either case. Um, at home, Newcastle, you'd think would be able to do Chelsea, but Chelsea have got a good defense. I mean, I don't like the way Chelsea play. I find it very kind of they just kind of just chip away at other teams. They don't really have a structure that I can identify. Apart from using Pedro Neto a lot on the wing to break through teams and the other wing as well. They used to good effect at times. I just find them a little bit rubbish this season to watch, but they're effective most of the time. But they're a young team, and I think that really, they don't have the experience sometimes to carry through results. Um, and Newcastle have their own problems. Although I do think, honestly, think they're going to get better. I've been saying this for a while, but I'm selling my Newcastle players as it stands. Um, they lost at Sunderland, and it was a horrible game of football. Um, I suppose my prediction on this would be Chelsea to win. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Bournemouth, Bournemouth home to Burnley. If you've got any Bournemouth players, don't leave them on the bench. Brighton, Sunderland. Sunderland still putting up a fight in any game they play. Don't score many goals, but don't concede that many. Brighton not doing so well, and their FPL assets don't seem to be really doing anything. Minte was popular a few weeks ago, but he's not really he's not really done it. Manchester City, West Ham. There are three obvious picks from Manchester City, which are Haaland, Foden, and O'Reilly. You might also want maybe Guardiola or uh, Nunes is not a bad pick. The right back. He's not a right back, but he's playing right back. Um, Apart from that, not really anyone. Marmoush has gone to the African Cup of Nations. Doku is injured, so Foden is nailed now. I mean, there's very, very little chance of him being left on the bench. Cherky will probably get a run in the team, but who knows? If you want to be crazy, you go for him. Reinders hasn't really done it this season, unfortunately, after all the expectations early on. West Ham might be a bit disadvantaged too because they lost Diouf, and I think it's Wan-Bissaka. They've lost two defenders to the Afcon. Wolves at home to Brentford. Again, Brentford assets don't leave them on the bench. Brentford defenders a nice one to have for that fixture. Although Wolves played a lot better at Arsenal than they played for some weeks. Spurs against Liverpool. I mean, Spurs look pretty awful at the minute, and people are suggesting that the players are not playing for Thomas Frank now. It's got to the point where people even believe the players are not backing the manager, which isn't the case at Liverpool, where obviously most of the players, apart from one particular player, seem to be playing for the manager. Um, but it's a kind of fixture where Spurs might pull something out of the bag because that's the kind of team they are. But I don't know. I think Liverpool might be finding some form. We'll see. I mean, there's a couple of Liverpool assets that could be attractive now. Ekitike is the main one that people are drawn towards. I just think it's a little bit risky, given that he's not that cheap and he's not that guaranteed to play up front centrally. Because even if he starts with Isak, Isak will probably be the central player. Although I'm not really sure what they'll do if Isak and Ekitike start, which they might well do because Gakpo and Salah are now out. So uh, they might well start with both of them. Everton, Arsenal. It's the 8 o'clock on Saturday evening kickoff, and there are two of these this week, which is pretty mad. Nobody really likes this kickoff time, but anyway, it's American TV likes it, I expect. Everton home to Arsenal. I mean, I'm backing Arsenal to keep a clean sheet there. I've got two Arsenal defenders. Can't see why they wouldn't. Leeds home to Palace. That'll be interesting. Leeds are good at home. Palace flagging a bit. They've got another Europa League game on the Thursday this week. Although again, it's like last week. It's not against strong opposition. The good thing about being in the conference, Europa League conference, is that they don't play many very good teams. So even if they start with a strong team, they tend to take players off after a certain point in the game. So maybe they're not as done as people think, Palace. But I don't know who'd win this game. It's another one I'm not going to call it. Aston Villa, Man United. Manchester United scored 4 goals at home on Monday, conceded four in a crazy game against Bournemouth. Obviously, Manchester United concede goals. Villa like to pop up and score them out of the blue. Villa score a lot of goals that are not expected in the sense that they don't have what's called a high XG, meaning they don't get many big chances, but they get goals from outside the box. They get sneaky goals. They get goals that you don't expect. So, Man United concede. Ollie Watkins has scored well, he didn't score. He got an assist because it looked like he scored it, but it came off the defender in the last game. He's coming back into form a bit. Again, I think there might be goals in this one like there was on Monday. I think this could be 2-2 or 3-2 or 4-2 or something like that. I don't know who's going to win. I would say Aston Villa are favourites. Fulham against Forest. Finally, Forest looking a bit better now. Fulham, I mean, Harry Wilson is a great pick because he scores goals and he scores amazing goals. And this could be a player that we've underrated for a long time. I mean, he doesn't get that many minutes for Fulham. He's often on the bench or coming off to be substituted. I'm not sure if he's like permanently injured or if Marcus Silva just doesn't fancy him that much. I don't know, but he scores a lot of really good goals, not just for Fulham but for Wales as well. So I don't know if you got a let's say you got a transfer to, let's say Spurs or Manchester United or even Chelsea. No, not Chelsea, but like maybe Manchester City. Nah, you can't see him joining Man City, Liverpool, or Chelsea really. But a team, because simply because they've got those players already. But a team that is has more attacking threat than Fulham, who knows what he might do. So I have already made two transfers. Now, what that means is that I've taken a hit. I got 5 free transfers last week, and I've already taken a hit this week because I looked at the Bruno Fernandes haul on Monday, and then I looked at my team. I just thought he's the only player that can hurt me. I've basically looked at all the players that can hurt me and just covered them. This is the most negative I've ever played fantasy football because I'm highly ranked. My current rank is 29,000. It's slipped a bit from last week. I've gone down 11K. Because I'm in the top 50K, I'm going to play this conservatively now. So although I've taken a hit, I intend not to make any transfers for 2 or 3 weeks now. This team should be fine. I got Mark Guiu in up front, who's only 4.2 to afford Bruno Fernandes. So I upgraded um, your man at Everton, uh, Dewsbury Hall, upgraded him to Bruno Fernandes, like, which is a big upgrade. I don't intend to hold on to Bruno Guimaraes, but Newcastle's fixtures and Chelsea's fixtures actually are really good in the new year. Up to Christmas and the new year, they're not that great. Chelsea, same. But after the new year, there's some lovely fixtures for Chelsea and Newcastle. Now, whether I hold on to these two players for those, I'm not sure. I might get other ones. But I've decided that Haaland and Thiago are the best two strikers. And if you look at the forwards, right? You look at how many points forwards are scoring this season. So look at the top scoring forwards here, right? You've got Haaland and Thiago. They're on 135 and 82. The third place striker is Jared Bowen on 74. Then look at defenders. So 74 points is the third highest forward. Where would he come in the defenders? 74 points. He'd come right down here with Tarkovsky. Yeah. And Tarkovsky costs 5.5. So the third highest forward is equivalent to Tarkovsky. Yeah. Then look at midfielders. 74 points, the third highest forward. Where would he come in the midfielders? He'd come right down here. He'd come where Mbermo is. And above him, you've got all these other players um, who can haul at any time in midfield because now they get DEFCONs as well. They can rack up 15 points just by scoring one goal or 13, just by scoring one goal, you know. Um, so I don't see a logic in having more than two strikers now, forwards. I mean, I was following that for a while anyway. I when in the five transfers last week, I briefly went away from it because um, I wanted to get in Thiago and I didn't want to sell Voldemada for Thiago, but selling Voldemada right now is a must. It was a must for me. So I went down to Guiu and went up from Dewsbury Hall to Bruno Fernandes. And I'm going to just stick with this team now. Occasionally I'll go 4-4-2. Occasionally I'll go 3-5-2, depending on the fixtures. I'm not sure whether to play Bruno or Bruno Guimaraes or Enzo Fernandez at, at the Chelsea Newcastle game. I might switch this on Saturday morning. One of them's got a bench because I want Truffert to play at home to Burnley, and the rest of the defense are too good to leave out. So this week I'm going 4-4-2. In future weeks I'll go 3-5-2. Because I'm looking at other players around me that can hurt me, and Bruno Fernandes was the main player that could hurt me. And then I look at the rest of it and I go, well, okay, well, Harry Wilson might hurt me, but I can't see it. Um, him being a consistent player week on week. So I'm going to leave it like this for a few weeks now. I hope I might get itchy trigger transfer fingers again, but and then just believe that. I mean, I'm more interested in my overall rank than winning the overpaid over the bar league. I'm much more interested in having a top 50k rank. I mean, at worst, a top 100k rank, but I don't want to be outside the top 100k at the end of the season. So I'm just looking at that. Come January, by the way, um, Cole Palmer might be finally doing 90 minutes. Now, this is a bit of a weird situation with Palmer. He comes on for 60 minutes and then gets taken off, which makes me a bit suspicious because he doesn't seem that pissed off when he's being taken off. So I'm assuming that he has a knock or an injury but why are you playing him if he's got an injury? I don't understand it. It's like wait for him to get fully better and give him 90 minutes because he's been coming on and off for weeks. It's not like oh, we're slowly bringing him back into the team and he's getting more minutes every week. It's like every week he's being managed, which makes me a little bit suspicious that he won't ever get back to full fitness if they do it that way. But if he does get back to full fitness, have a look at Chelsea's fixtures in January, right? So they play Manchester City away on the 4th of January. Then it's Fulham away, Brentford at home, Crystal Palace away, West Ham at home, Wolves away, Leeds at home, Burnley at home. So it's February as much as January, but it's from mid January that they have an amazing fixture run, Chelsea. So bear in mind that if you have Saka or a player that you can upgrade to Palmer, you might want to be thinking about that in mid-January. Um, there are other Chelsea players you might want to consider for that run, but I will be trying to get in Cole Palmer if he's fully fit and firing by that time. And we've been saying that long enough now. It's about time a decent premium got back in the game because the lack of premiums that are doing well is killing the game in terms of the template. I can put this team out every week and pretty much guarantee my rank because there aren't enough premiums fighting with each other. So it means everyone has the same premiums. So we need a high scoring player. When Gabriel comes back for Arsenal, that will help because people will, have to try and get him in and if or choose not to get him in. Because Foden's not that expensive. You can afford to have him in your team. So as it stands, uh, the template of Bruno Fernandes, Foden, Saka, Haaland, Thiago, O'Reilly. I mean and either Raya or Sanchez in goal. It's a very strong template. Um, so we're kind of at a boring part of the season now. So what I intend to do in the next couple of weeks is get together people who haven't been on for a while. It's just been me for a while, so I'm trying to get some interviews or some co-presenters lined up for the next couple of weeks because my guess is that FPL is going to get a bit boring now. But anyway, I can't think there's anything else that I need to cover for. Let's just have a look at the transfers in before we do anything else. Top transfers this week: Harry Wilson, Ekatike, Foden, Bruno Fernandes, Morgan Rogers, decent buy. I haven't mentioned him. I mentioned the other four. Um, Obviously, the players being transferred out are either injured or at AFCON, or in the case of Eze and Voltemada, just not really returning. Joao Pedro the same. I don't see that changing that much. I think they're decent. All those are decent transfers out. No, I don't think there's anything much to say apart from that. Have a great game week uh, starting on Saturday, and have a good. I hope your Christmas preparations are going well. If you celebrate, and take care. Bye bye.